What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about free agency and player movement. Let's get into it.
So free agency is still underway, and a lot of teams made some pretty significant moves. What do you think about some of these moves so far?
I think some of them were necessary. There's a team that just pretty much gutted their whole roster. And so, if it's going to help them to contend and, win a chip, I guess that's what it's all about. I can tell you right now, there's no loyalty. I trust that.
No, there is none. Now, some of these moves have made the teams contenders and then maybe even a pretender. So I want to talk about a team that potentially could be a contender next season.
What?
The Washington Wizards.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not mad at that. Okay. With the pieces they received from the Lakers?
Yes. Not only that, but Spencer Dinwiddie has also joined. And to me, that's what did it. You got Kuzma, Spencer Dinwiddie. You got both of them like in the starting lineup. So I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be good for them next season.
Yeah, and I think it will help Bradley Beal as well. Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be their point guard. Like, who else are they going to put? At least he'll start. I think he's well enough to start the season. And I think that's a good look for him. He needed somewhere. Unfortunately, with him still being on the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie being on the Nets, he was going to be riding the bench anyway.
Yeah.
And he may not have had enough playing time because I think that Spencer Dinwiddie is a great piece to a team. Because if you think about it, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, and all of them were actually what allowed the Nets to make it to the bubble in 2020. So, if Spencer Dinwiddie had not hurt his leg, he may have actually been a great contributor to the Nets, making it, as far as they did into the playoffs in 2021. So I like to see that. Spencer Dinwiddie, I can see that. I think that's what took it over. When you mentioned them as a contender, I can see that with the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie. Yes. I don't know if I would say they would be a contender with just the pieces they received from the Lakers. That would have been enough.
No, because check this out. Montrezl Harrell, as it stands right now, he's a third string. I mean, yeah, he's behind. Remember, Thomas Bryant was out with an ACL, so we didn't see him play at all last season. And then they also have Daniel Gafford. So Montrezl, like, I don't know that he's going to be a contributing factor. But it's okay because KCP is going to back up Bradley Beal. I mean, they're going to be a pretty deep team.
Yeah, so you think that all three of them, KCP, Kuzma, and, well, we just talked about Montrezl, but KCP and Kuzma in particular, they'll still be bench players. I don't see any of them being able to. Will you think any of them will be a part of the starting lineup?
Yeah, Kuzma will be.
Good for him. Oh, yeah. Positive move for Kuzma. He needed to get out of the back office. No, for real, he needed that. He needs to be able to display his skills and develop, as a starter. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, no, contender. Okay, I can support that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. To me, I thought about now this team that I'm getting ready to mention. I actually had them making the play-in tournament for last season, but unfortunately they did not make the play-in tournament. And I believe they didn't make the play-in tournament because their star player was injured late in the season. And for me, I think that this season, 2022 contenders will be the Chicago Bulls.
Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm all things DeMar DeRozan. No, I'm just joking. But at the end of the day, the addition of DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, for some reason, I don't see it, but there are people that believe Lonzo Ball is it, and if people are still talking about him, there is something that Lonzo Ball hopefully can contribute to the Chicago Bulls that will make them a contender for the play-in tournament. Now, I'm not saying. Now, don't hear me. I'm not saying that they top three. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I think they can at least give the Hawks, the Knicks, something that they can compete against, which would make them a viable asset to the Eastern Conference and perhaps make the play-in tournament. And depending on how they do, perhaps make it to the playoffs. But if you think about, they have Lonzo Ball, they have Vucevic, which is really huge. Zach LaVine, which hopefully if he stays healthy, gold winner, Zach LaVine, excuse me. But I think that that's really huge for them. And then all the other pieces that they have, the Cody Whites and all that good stuff. I do see them being able to compete more successfully in the upcoming season. So Chicago.
Interesting. Okay. Now,
and don't forget, they added Alex Caruso. Oh, please don't forget. If you're not going to get nothing else from Alex Caruso, you're going to get some defense. Yeah. So once Billy Donovan figures out how he's going to use them, at least the Bulls are at a point where people can start talking about them. Because before,
they were talking about them.
But let's just now change the narrative, and hopefully they'll be able to move forward. Now, no, I don't see. Yeah, they're contenders. Yes.
Okay. Now, speaking of narrative and a contender and a roster full of 35, 33 plus year olds, I still have the Los Angeles Lakers as being a contender for next season.
I can see that.
They added like 7 key pieces. Now, we already know they added Russ, but they also added Dwight Howard. They needed that rim protection. And then Carmelo Anthony and Wayne Ellington as their spot up shooters. So that's what they needed. And the Lakers, I see them going pretty deep.
You don't have them winning?
I don't have them winning the championship next year, but I have them going deep in the playoffs.
Let's talk about deep. How deep they going?
Yeah, Western Conference Finals.
Okay. I mean, we're talking about veterans. And some of the benefit of being a veteran is that you've been there before and you know, have a better read of defense, a better read of the plays. So that can be to their advantage. I can see that. They just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. And that's what Father Time, you know. But they added some younger guys too. You got Kent Bazemore and Kendrick Nunn. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine next year because a lot of them are playing with chips on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And especially the head of the snake and LeBron and AD always injured. So he's going to try to prove that he can stay healthy all season. And when he does that, I think they have a good chance.
Okay. That's fair. That's good. I mean, I just don't see LeBron James not trying to win another championship. You know, so it makes sense. And the moves that they made, although the memes and the comments about the ages is the funniest thing ever. So yeah, but I'm cool with that. The Lakers, I can see them. Yes. I have on my list, I actually have the Miami Heat. I think that this Miami Heat team would be at least able to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see this team being swept in round 1.
No way.
So I'm glad that they actually added Kyle Lowry. Ooh, I'm so excited about that. They have, wait a minute. And then I just realized that they actually have Markieff Morris on their roster. I mean, again, what I understand from things that I've read that he's supposed to help with the front court. So we'll see how it all works out. Victor Oladipo is back, you know, although, you know, he had to sign the contract. If he didn't sign that one, where was he going to go?
Right. Yeah, no, it's a true statement. Yeah.
He was like, let me just go and do this. Hopefully I can, you know, have this season as a healthy season and, you know, be able to do that. And then they added PJ Tucker just off of a championship win.
Yeah, I like that pickup.
And then they just, extended Jimmy Butler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all good. All good. And I can see them going far. And then I think that Kyle Lowry will actually be like their Chris Paul. I think that's what they're anticipating him to be. And I think he can make it. I think he's up for the challenge. He's already won a championship. Why not come win one for the Heat? And, you know, let's just make it happen. So, yeah.
That would be good. Now, speaking of floor generals, and Kyle Lowry is that. I have the Chicago Bulls being a pretender for next season simply because they do not have a floor general.
They have Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo is not going to be your floor general. He's not going to direct traffic. He's not going to speak up in the huddles. They don't have a leader, and that's why I have them being a pretender. DeMar DeRozan is not going to do it.
No, they have Zach LaVine. That is their leader.
No, he's not going to. Is he a vocal leader?
He could be. We don't know enough about the Bulls because they've been in the shadows for years. So I think now is the time to see who's going to actually step up, and perhaps it just may be Lonzo Ball. Maybe he needed to get away from his old roots.
I agree. Maybe he did, but I still have them being a pretender because they don't have their. I just don't see it. Okay. I don't see it. They have some really good players, but they don't have someone who's going to corral the troops and get everybody on the same page. And Billy Donovan's not going to do it. He's on the sidelines. I'm talking about a player, their peer. They don't have anyone like that. DeMar DeRozan? No. He's like the Kawhi Leonard. He's going to show you by example, but he's not going to speak up.
Okay. Because we don't know if they speak up. We don't know that. Do we really know for a fact that there's nobody in the Chicago Bulls on the Chicago Bulls roster who is not a leader? Do we know for a fact?
We don't know that for a fact. I just from what I've seen.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. All right. So for my pretender, I have the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh,
I'm
really?
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just not enough, and I just don't see it. I know that the narrative and the hype will be there, considering they have the Rookie of the Year, get all of that. They got the brother, now you're part of the discussions, and perhaps he'll get a contract. Then they just added Kelly Oubre. Well, hopefully he'll be okay in this new environment. The Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, they need a couple of more years, I think. Couple more years and they'll start making some noise. But right now, I think they're just going to be exciting to watch, but they're going to lose a lot of games.
Yes, exciting to watch. Of course, going to always be a part of a discussion because of the Ball brother. But other than that, it's a pretender.
Yeah. And, LiAngelo Ball, I think, is on the summer league team for Charlotte. So if he can make the roster, I think we might see the Harlem Globetrotters up in Charlotte.
Again, a team that will be talked about, but will not produce any postseason success. So yeah, pretender for me. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Greatest show on earth.
Right. Yes, but don't count on them in the playoffs.
No. I have one more team that is posing as a pretender, and this is probably going to be something that may be controversial because they've extended their star player's contract. But the New York Knicks.
Oh,
postseason success? Nope. They allowed the Atlanta Hawks to run circles around them in round one. I'm just sorry. And then the addition of Kemba Walker. We still want old Kemba Walker. No, not with these new knees. No, no. Kemba Walker is a no for me. It's a no for me. And Evan Fournier, yes, he was balling, with France. But I just don't see it. I don't see it. And unfortunately, I really believe that we will see the New York Knicks this upcoming season, 2022, fizzle out. I just see it.
Oh, wow. I always believe in Tom Thibodeau. And I know that he's going to take last postseason's loss personal, and he's going to have those guys ready for next season. However, I don't know. I don't know if they're a pretender, though. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how Julius Randle can redeem himself. That's for sure. Because I'm telling you, he had a flat run in the postseason, and it was almost embarrassing. It was night and day. I didn't even know if he was the same player. It was strange. And the fact that they extended him,
I know.
I mean, that shows a lot of faith in him.
See, this is the thing about it, though. Let's not get overshadowed by his regular season success. He had a great regular season. Regular season. These teams, the Utah Jazz, had a great regular season, right? So is the regular season enough? No, not when you're talking about championship wins. And so it is what they do in the postseason, in my opinion, that really matters on whether or not the team is great or not, right? So, or the player has really, moved the needle. For Julius Randle, he had a great regular season, but his postseason performance was abysmal. So now we're talking about, I'm going to be looking. So the postseason for me, if he does well and the Knicks do well in the regular season, I'm like, oh, okay, well, they've done that. I expect that. It's what they do in the postseason for me is going to really change my thought process on whether or not they're a contender or a pretender. So
okay,
we'll see. Because what they showed me in the last season is that and even the small moves, Kemba
Walker, I know. Boston couldn't. Was it Boston?
OKC. Boston traded him to OKC, and then OKC bought him out because they was like,
Yeah, poor Kemba. It's the end of his career.
Oh yeah. You know what though? He got his money though. I'm not mad about the money, and it's great he's able to go back to New York. All of that is wonderful, but that doesn't mean they're gonna win a championship.
No, no. The East is too tough, and the Brooklyn Nets are waiting. So.
The East. Who do you think is going to be the top three? Just based off of right now. And of course, it's going to change once the season starts. We'll do our predictions in a later video. But right now, based off of the moves as it stands today, Who do you think will be the top 5 teams in the East?
Top 5?
Yeah, top 5.
Ooh, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. I think Atlanta will give it another go.
Okay.
Miami, of course.
That's it.
And I think Toronto might make some noise in the East next season.
You think so?
Yeah, you got Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., still have Siakam, even though there was talk about him being moved. Masai Ujiri just signed a contract extension, and he promised they'll get back to the glory days. So, hey, I'm looking at Toronto too.
Well, at least Fred VanVleet get a chance to lead the team because,
yes,
before it was Kyle Lowry. He's no longer there. So, okay. I don't see it. I didn't have anybody for the West. I thought about it. All my teams were the East.
So you think your Los Angeles Clippers are contending next season without Kawhi Leonard for a good portion of the season?
No.
Oh, okay. They extended Batum and Reggie Jackson, 2 of the players you wanted them to keep.
And I'm glad they did. Absolutely. But without Kawhi Leonard, now let me tell you something. If Paul George want to change his narrative, do it next season without Kawhi. If you want to be the man, now, but I'm glad they finally. I thought they was going to just like let Reggie Jackson just go on do his thing. I'm so glad they kept Reggie. Finally, don't play with me. And I'm glad they, re-signed Batum. That's really good. But without Kawhi Leonard, to be honest, it didn't even matter where Kawhi went. He ain't playing next season. So it didn't really. But I don't see the Clippers being contenders. I know. It's
no,
I don't see it. Not right now. Not as we speak today.
Okay. So who do you have as being your top 5? You asked me for the East, but I'm going to ask you about the West.
Okay, for the West, I think Phoenix will do it again. So I'm going to put Phoenix in no particular order. Phoenix, I see the Lakers. I'm going to go back with the Nuggets because I know Jamal Murray is going to be back.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go back with the Nuggets. Luka and the Mavs, they show up all the time. And I need one more. I have 4. I don't know about the Jazz. I don't know. I don't know about the Jazz.
Yeah, they're probably going to have a really good regular season, but come to playoffs, I don't know what it is.
Oh, I got one. Sacramento Kings. Now that they have Tristan Thompson.
No way.
I'm just playing. That's a joke. Trust me, that's a joke. Yeah, no, I think that's for. I don't know. I'll plug in Jazz, I guess. Yeah. I do believe the Clippers will make it to the playoffs as maybe a top 8, but I don't see them being top 5. No,
okay.
No, I can own that. Yeah. Although I like and I follow the Clippers. I can be honest about what their 2022 season is going to look like right now, and it doesn't look hopeful for a deep playoff run. I don't see them making it back to the Western Conference. That's what
that's too bad. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you guys, we are going to wrap up this episode. Make sure you drop down and let us know who are some of your pretenders and contenders for the 2022 NBA season. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
peace.
Peace out.